of course, growing up, they didn't. Most people didn't know what kind of Asian was Asian. They can't tell the difference. We're just all Chinese to everyone's. I used to get all kinds of stuff at school, Ching Chong, Chinaman,
especially
yeah.
general.
Oh yeah.
And my parents, they thought it was cool to get a lunchbox with David Carradine's Kung Fu on it, which I thought was so cool because I love that show until I realized he was a white guy, right?
Right.
But that's something else. But then again, I love that lunchbox because it's like shows like this Asian looking guy kicking somebody's butt, right?
It says Kung Fu on it.
I mean, that kind of held up. It's like, right. So, anyways, what I find sometimes a little bit troublesome is that I think the depiction of what Asian Americans, especially Asian American males, it seems to be very it's not yet broadened out there. I think that like in terms of
Okay.
It sounds like you got a lot to say about this, though.
No,
I just want to drop a couple of things there. Because the only other Asians I see there are either gay males, which hey, God bless him, that's great. But then it makes me feel like that's the only ones out there, and it's very rare. I mean, there's only a few shows out there that depict like Asian male stereotypes. If we have to draw back all the way to Bruce Lee still. And Bruce Lee was what, 40 whatever years, 50 years ago now?
50, man.
50 that's 60, 50 years ago. That's Bruce Lee. I mean, we can't be drawn back to Bruce Lee still. But in some ways, we still kind of are. But that to me is a little bit... there's still some work to do with it. And I don't know what it is, considering we were only, 6% of the population?
Right, exactly. Only.
Yeah,
right.
But in California, where like media reigns, you'd think that, and since Filipinos have been there since Hollywood even began,
right?
You would think
the 20s,
you would think there'd be more. Yeah, man, you'd think that there'd be more Filipino presence in the media, especially in Hollywood, right? This is part of the reason why we have you on.
Yeah.
Because you're someone who has been in media,
right?
And it's great to know that, like, you're out there and doing this and representing in a certain way. Yeah,
right.
Yeah,
for sure, man. We can talk about how it started. We can talk about systemic racism. We can talk about how we are just being bullied to stay down and just like, know our role or whatever. But as far as like entertainment goes, I'm just gonna speak on my own experience. All we've ever known growing up was black and white as far as media goes, as far as entertainment goes. That's just how it's been. But funnily enough, is that a word? For me growing up, now it is. Influences, like whenever I see something that look like me, and I'm talking late 80s, early 90s, like I watching like Chef Martin Yan and like Ming Tsai, these Chinese dudes cooking. Like this was my entertainment, and these are Asian dudes, Martin Yan straight up had an accent, and even when I saw like Dante Bosco in a Skittles commercial, that was like I was like, yo, this dude could be my brother. And I'm like, this is what I want to do. And it's funny, I never really thought about it. It's like, that was so long ago, and like we're still struggling. We're still in a place where we're not at a point where we're not the Brad Pitts yet. We're not the Bill Washingtons yet. And I think it's because people just aren't used to seeing us. People like like maybe there was to a certain extent we were just sort of like the humble, quiet people who just like we did what we did, but we didn't want to like brag about it. But now it's time like we need to make, like, especially Filipino Americans, like, we like to party. We make noise, and I think more so now than before, like we need to harness that power and like make more noise, and I think we're finally getting to that point. I can't speak for other entertainers. like for me, like once again, like I said, like I would, whenever I saw an Asian person on TV, I latched onto them, and that's kind of all I knew. Ernie Reyes Jr., man, you know, straight up, like,
Right.
yeah, or like Surf Ninjas and stuff, like I could care less. Yeah, exactly. I could care less about the white dudes. Like, yeah, maybe like when I was younger, I would like study them, or when I was studying acting, I would study them. But like, I would latch onto the the Asians, you know, and that's who I would like tell myself, yo, one day I'm gonna be on. So maybe that's why it never really affected me. I know this sounds, I'm pretty sure like other entertainers like listening to this will probably be like, dude, come on, man, we've been struggling, we've been trying. Though, like maybe I think now is the time. We're making noise now, we're doing things, so let's continue to do that. Let's continue to like create the products for ourselves, like write the stories for ourselves, and go out there and stop being so shy about it. I guess maybe I know it's a little tough, but you know, even for me, I'm sorry, you can stop me whenever you want, because I know I talk a lot.
No, that's fine. We're listening, man.
Yeah. It was always about the passion. It was like when I first started studying acting, when I first broke into entertainment, it was like I wanted to be in radio. So reason why, I think part of the reason why is because I don't think the general public I think I would be marketable to the general public. So maybe I subconsciously in the back of my mind, people probably wouldn't want to see my face, but you know, I got a voice. So
okay.
You know, there was an Asian American DJ back in the day named Theo on 92.3 The Beat here.
Oh, we all know Theo.
Oh yeah, actually he came from the Bay. He came from the Bay. Yeah.
Theo Misahara.
Yes, he did.
Yeah, right. So when
Mr. Handsome,
this guy, he had a voice. I had no idea he was Japanese American, and I was like, yo, this guy's dope. Like I would listen to him. I was a fan. And then when I found out he was Japanese, like, holy shit, what? This guy, this guy's doing it. He's something. He's making noise. But is he making noise because people can't see his face and he just has a voice?
Yeah, it was like this really
that was
deep
kind of
voice.
there. Yeah, it was like, oh no, it's like smoother.
Yeah.
He was way smoother than that. But so like he was one, So he was one of my influences, sort of like growing up and wanting to get into the entertainment industry and wanting to be in radio. So there were these Asian Americans who sort of latched on to, and I like that's kind of all. That's what I wanted to be, and perhaps there weren't enough of us. There weren't enough people doing that, like seeing Asian Americans in the entertainment industry and wanting to do that. But that's because our parents forced us to do other things, and that's another topic.
Nursing.